What's up, Emmy? How we doing? Always bullish. Yeah, we're delivering out of this 4-hour gap. Just swept the New York PM low on ES, swept lunch low on NQ, or no, we didn't. Still got lunch low and New York PM low on NQ. But can't tell if ES is leading or not. What's up, Simon? How we doing? What's the play? What's the play? I really don't know, man. This is ES right here. We just swept these lows. Looks like we're getting a strong push. There's a 4-hour gap. 4-hour gap that we're delivering out of right there on ES. Bullish gap. So we'll see. It's been a strong point of rejection multiple times. 1, 2, 3, 4, now 5 times where this 4-hour gap has been touched and respected. So we'll see. Got market open here in 3 minutes, 4 minutes. I'd like to do a poll, man. I don't know why TikTok won't let me do a poll. See if it'll let me do it. Bullish or bearish is what that was supposed to say, but long or short will do too. This is ES right here. That's NQ. Yeah, we're delivering out of this 4-hour on ES and a 4-hour inversion, bullish inversion. So prices touch this inversion 1, 2, 3, 4, and now 5 times and respected it. So it'd be interesting to see what it does now. NQ has this 4-hour just slightly lower. We did not sweep PM lows here. ES did, NQ did not. So we'll see. Stay patient. What's up, Zach? How we doing? Nathan, what up? Not sure, Jay. We've been pumping pretty hard at the downside here, so you would think we'd want to rebalance a little bit. Go for these highs potentially. So, looks like we're getting a little bit of that right now. Not a bad setup on the one. If somebody took that up to these highs, that would have been a nice play. Looking to pass an eval, nice. Appreciate that, Simon. Part of that is me being absolutely dog tired right now. But we're here. We're making it. What's up, Dean? Classes were good, man. Classes were good. I can't complain. Had a quiz in my Japanese course, made 100 on that, so that was good. It's a good little win. It's always good to have those. It's the morning, so it would be Ohayo gozaimasu. Not konnichiwa. Konnichiwa is the afternoon. We're just pumping higher here. That's a good afternoon. Yeah, you should give it a shot, Zach. It's fun. It's an interesting language. Look at that dump right on the open. See, ES swept that New York PM low and right here. NQ did not, so there's NQ taking it right now, or trying to at least. Yeah, you should definitely do it, man. Spanish is, I think, probably a lot more useful than Japanese if you're in the United States, but you know, how many people speak Japanese? It's kind of cool to know. I want to learn English. Me too, man. I'm still trying. It's been 32 years. I still don't have it down. PMI is at at 9:40. Well, 9:45 Eastern time. Yeah. We didn't really get a whole lot of a reaction out of the unemployment at 8:30. It's kind of interesting. We were selling off pretty hard before that. Oh, you're being serious, Dean. You don't. What's your native language? Finnish. That's interesting. That's pretty cool. Was it you that DM'd me on about a question you had? Did you go to school in Arizona or something, or somewhere out there? Somebody DM'd me. I hadn't had a chance to answer him yet. Who was that? Oh, it's Josh. Josh McCabe. It's up, down, down, up. So we just swept New York PM and then immediately reversed out of this 4 hour, which is interesting. We didn't sweep it on NQ though. Weird. So it seems like ES might be leading. assignment. That's wild, man. You need to be working for the government or something as a translator. Apex just crashed. Mine's good. I'm using Trade8. My Apex accounts are connected to that. With my discount code, I think it comes out to be like $39 for just the eval. It's 150 or 140 for the activation if you pass. You can pass them in a day. There's no consistency rule for that. One of the cheapest evals, but definitely, you know, if you pass like 20 of them at the same time and you're trying to activate them all at the same time, that 140 can add up. Yes, down, up, down. I think NQ wants to take out these lows. Yeah, my fund and futures is good, man. They got some good deals going on. I like Take Profit Trader. They got some good deals going on too. All in for a 50K, it's $109 with a discount code. So that's activation and eval. So that's a pretty good deal, and you can take daily payouts. Yeah, America, we're gonna sit tight. We got another 9 minutes until the news here, so we're gonna wait for PMI to come out. No, you're not tripping, Danny. You're not tripping at all. There's Josh. I just mistook somebody else for you a minute ago. I saw your DM, Josh. I'm gonna answer it when I get a chance. I haven't had time to give you a thorough answer yet, so I don't want to half-ass my response. So don't think I'm ignoring you. They are coupled typically, Kyle. They one follows the other typically. Depends on the day which one's following the other, but you can get an idea. Like for instance, if they're following each other, let's say that let's say you get a high taking a sweep of a key level, and the other one doesn't. It just has reversed. So there's slightly. So you get this high right here, and then the other. What is that? Is my deodorant giving me a hard time? You get one that's, yeah, basically an SMT, if you know what that is, where basically one indicator is already making a move in the other direction, the other one hasn't done it yet. You can kind of get an idea that the one that's lagging will do that. Not always, but it can be an indicator that you're about to get a reversal, and you can use that as an added confluence to your setup to say, okay, that's a part of what I'm taking into account when I'm deciding whether I'm going to take a trade or not. 7 minutes here. 6 minutes. Yeah. See, we got NQ. Is this NQ? No, this is ES. So we got ES right here. Hang on. You got ES right here, made this high, and then this high only came right there. Now, NQ did the opposite basically right there. So you got this high to this high. So that's an S&T. That makes sense, Kyle? Yeah, the bottom too, slightly on the bottom. It's an added confluence. I've gotten burned too many times relying too heavily on S&Ts. I do think they're a good confluence to have in conjunction with, the other things that we look for in a setup. I use Tradevate, Howie. Kyle, my ideal setup is called a unicorn. Basically, you get a sweep of a major level, V-shaped recovery, creation of a breaker, and a bullish or a bearish fair value gap inside of the breaker. And then I usually open the trade on a retest a retest and a respecting of the fair value gap inside of that breaker, with a clear draw on liquidity. You need a clear draw on liquidity also. Exactly, Josh. Exactly. All right, we got 4 minutes here. No, no, no. Well, I don't like to, Zach. I really don't. But in an instance like today, we potentially could be counter trend trading. I don't like to do that though. I like trading with the trend. Um, like I guess you could say it would be, depending on the time frame you're looking at, it could be considered a counter trend trade. Depends on what the trend. If the daily bias is bearish and we're taking a long, obviously that's a counter trend trade. But I typically don't like to do that. For instance, if you were to just get this is the 2 hour chart or the 4 hour chart. It's a pretty bullish, 8 hours right there or 12 hours right there. If we were to get a spike up and take these highs, and then we get a short setup, technically we'd be trading with the trend targeting these lows. Technically speaking, because we'd be respecting the 4 hour bearish trend. Which I'd be perfectly fine if we get PMI that comes up here and does that. I just don't know that we're bullish today. We'll see though. Unemployment claims were 9,000 off the forecast. We got 2 minutes and 30 seconds till PMI. We'll see what that does. Look at this 15-minute candle. Why don't I understand this? The strat. Let's say we get here's an example of what the strategy would be. V-shaped or a sweep of a major level, like these lows right here. Strong V-shaped recovery, meaning price starts going in the other way. When it does that, this isn't a breaker, but let's say it is. You'd get a breaker right here. You get a fair value gap inside of this breaker, and then you'd want price to come back, test that fair value gap, and then reject higher, and we would open a long. Let's say that the fair value gap's right there. We'd want to open the long on the retest and respecting of that gap and either target these highs, or even you could go up and target these highs right here. That would be an example of the strategy. Forexfactory.com is where you can get the news. Yeah, music love. I do. I do. Yeah, man. Not a problem. It's an ugly 15-minute candle, isn't it? Is that what you're going to do, Luke? I don't know. With unemployment looking the way that it did, um, we'll see. Got 30 seconds here. Put 5 or 6 minis. What you could do is just put 5 or 6 minis like up here, like long. So if it actually is going up there, just push through that. Problem is, it goes and hits that and then reverses immediately. That would suck. You're in short. You got news in 5 seconds here. This is about to be. I mean, it might not have a crazy reaction, but we'll see. You're also delivering out of this 4 hour right here, though, Elias. I could see us taking these lows and then immediately going higher. I wouldn't say a retrace. Um, Typically, Caleb, I'd say a reversal is more ideal. Some people call it bottom or top ticking. I don't necessarily get it right at the bottom or the top, but I get it when it's made a clear indication of what direction it wants to go. You're eating on that short right now. I'd keep an eye on this 4 hour. If it bounces off of this, I'd get out of that short pretty quick. But I think, let's see, the PMI was better than expected, so we'll see. Sun's out, guns out. Parka, there you go, man. Close half, nice. Just took PM. Just took New York PM lows. Getting a little resistance off that 4 hour. I think it's going to go a little lower here. We'll see. Maybe not. Let's see. It marks them and then I manually put these rays in. Or it like shows them and then I mark them, I guess is a better way to say that. Either it hits or I'm adding to the unemployment rate. There's a rejection off that 4 hour. Sweat PM lows. What's ES doing? ES pushing up. Strong push off that 4 hour. Strong push off that, then a rejection off that gap above. Still pushing. Still pushing. no hate or anything, but you're wrong, bro. How you gonna tell me? This is actually an indicator marking that out, not me. So it's a computer. So you're arguing with a computer. What's up, man? What's up, ET? Tristan, what's good, man? Not tremendously. It really doesn't affect it tremendously. Yeah, this is in queue. I'd like to see a buy set up here, man, but right now I'm not thoroughly convinced. I could take a small stab at this, but I'm kind of a little anxious with the fact that we didn't sweep PM lows here. Or the lunch lows, at least. Look at that wick. Just don't want to blow my wad right here first thing in the morning. This is the 1 minute. 5 minute right there. 15 right there. We'll see, SD. We'll see. Is that Jay? Is that you, Jay? Man, I really hope it's not about the rain. I have to walk to class in the rain. That's going to suck. I'm hoping that hurricane doesn't hit us, Zach. That would really suck. Ryan, it's this right here. You're on your way to Hilton Head? Are you surfing or something? You got to be looking to surf or something off of that storm rolling in, man. Yeah, this is risky. We're just kind of letting this play out. Let it calm down a little bit before we jump in. What's ES doing? ES is kind of maintaining right there. This is the 1 minute. Yeah, I'm not thoroughly. This is the 1 minute right here. I mean, you get an inversion, a bullish inversion, and a bullish fair value gap. I'm not thoroughly convinced with this right here. These candles. This is 5 minute. I mean, it's very wicky. Very wicky. It is respecting this 1 minute right here, though. Proverbs 3:21 through 22. I love these, man. I love your daily verses that you drop. Yeah, potentially. It's tempting to take this long here, but we're going to wait. My son, do not let wisdom and understanding out of your sight. Preserve sound judgment and discretion. They will be life for you, an ornament to grace your neck. Nice. I like that. The 4 hour is, we're delivering out of a bullish 4 hour right here. Yeah, you're right. We're trading into a 4 hour inversion right there, but we were delivering out of this 4 hour bullish. We're not doing anything right now, to be honest with you. We're just kind of chilling. But I mean, with that, this could just fight each other. These two gaps could just fight each other. We're waiting to get a clear idea. There's no strong indicator of either way right now. Good, Kyle. That's a great question, man. I like to typically see a candle closure, but then the next question is, well, what candle? You know, is it a 5 minute? Is it a 4 minute? Um, I like. I think if you get a 1 minute with a clear reversal, like look at that. That's on the 1 minute. I think if you get a candle closure below the level and then you get a strong V-shaped recovery like that, that's typically a good sign. But with price acting the way that it is, it's kind of up, down, up, down, up, down. I'm not convinced at this point. If you got a clear down to the liquidity level, candle closure below it, and then a strong reversal, that would be what we'd want to see. But this chop right here, up, down, off of the market open, I'm not convinced either way right now. This 1 minute is holding, but it still doesn't look great. Yeah, you got some bullish pressure on the higher time frames here. This is 4 hour bullish gap, 4 hour bullish inversion, 4 hour bullish gap. I think if we could get a long off of this 4 hour, at least up to these highs, that would be all we'd need for today. We could call it a day and move on, but we're going to wait and see. What's up, Pete? How's it going, man? See how dark it just got in my apartment? It's like dark outside right now. Inverted that one right there. First set of highs are the London and Asia, I believe, together, right? Yeah, on NQ. So the first high is the London high at 23,368.25. Inverted that one, and we're pushing lower here to the PM lows, or excuse me, to the lunch lows from yesterday. Is that from yesterday? Yeah. If we get a sweep of that, I'd like to see a recovery and a targeting of at least this swing high, potentially these highs up here. Yesterday we didn't get that move until the PM session, and we ate. Anybody who was patient enough to wait for that move yesterday, we had a good day. What's the breakfast like? Typically don't eat breakfast these days right now, man. I usually fast from like 7 or 8 o'clock at night until around 11 or 12 the next day. And then I try to eat at least 3 or 4 meals after that. at least small meals, like 8 ounces of ground beef and 5 eggs, and typically do that. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think this existing home sales is going to have much of an impact, to be honest. Nice, Elias. Yeah, you were short for a while there. You held. Natural way to block cortisol. Stay off social media, which you're not doing right now. um, get at least 7 or 8 hours of sleep a night. High protein meals. Uh, Consistently working out. Magnesium is good. Yeah, I take all the different forms of magnesium. There's lunch low. We'd like to see a candle closure below it and then a rejection off this 4 hour, and we'd start to get really interested in the long here. Yeah, it is bear. Biggie bear. How's a strong rejection? Yeah, ES is eating right now. I'm getting tempted to jump in this. Got a potential breaker setup formation right here. Potential. I know I marked these early. I had a guy in my comments trying to rag on me about that. I mark them early. Then we're going to got a little BPR right there. That's a strong confluence. We haven't gotten, this hasn't actually made itself a breaker yet. What's ES doing? A little bit of a rejection. BPR there. Yeah, I think this is setting up to be nice. We could take a long potentially here. Let's see what happens. Typically, I like to see a retest after we've created a breaker. Not officially a breaker yet. kind of a BPR, close to a BPR. This 1 minute's holding this up here. Been a lot of respect of this 1 minute. Get a closure above that, we're going to be super interested. Correct. Yeah, you're correct about the breaker. This is technically not a breaker yet, but I like to mark them early, like I said. Balanced price range is where basically you have a fair overlapping fair value gap. You got one right there, and you got one right there. All right, so this is a breaker now. It's tempting to take a stab. We want this candle to close and then a retest, and then we're going to take a long here potentially, if it doesn't run away without us. This is NQ. This is M and Q, yeah. I'm taking micros if I do take this. Not thoroughly convinced this 1 minute's still holding here. What do we have above us, just to keep an eye on things? We're trading into a 5 minute inverted. We got a 15 above us. We are going to be playing through some pressure here, but let's get a candle closure here and then a retest, and we're going to potentially take this long. Yeah, I would like to see that. I'd like to see a retest. It could run without us, but we'll see. Could very well run without us here. Problem with not getting a retest is it's a super wide stop that we would have to have on this. And we are trading into a pretty strong level of resistance with these gaps. Nice user. What's up, Augustine? I'm going to take a stab at this potentially. Right there. Bad slippage entry there. Could get a push down to retest this, but we'll see. We'll see if it just rejects off that one. We're trading into these 15s above us here, so we shall see. This could very well fail. Trading 5 micros on a funded. We're bouncing off the SMA. Targets would be, I hate that we didn't get that proper entry. I hate the slippage. It's not the best. Pisses me off. It's all right, though. I'm going to be optimistic and put that up there to make me feel better about that. See what yeah, we're pretty stretched already right there. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Let's stay optimistic here. Targets, first targets would be these London and Asia highs. Want to see this take off, but we're trading into some pretty heavy resistance here with these gaps, so we're going to give it a shot. Target is London Asia high, or you got New York AM high from yesterday. Really want this to push harder here. That's, again, we're trading into this resistance, so this is kind of to be expected. $250. Caleb. Yeah, stop loss below that wick to be safe. A little bit of a pushback here. Need to see a strong move. Strong move up here. I know we're trading into this resistance, so it's not likely, but touched into that 15, and I'm going to keep this marked out for us. Really want to push above that. I hate that we touched into it and rejected so hard. It's not a good sign. This could very well want to come back down, touch in, and then go higher. And in that case, we're going to be sitting there and draw down like a bunch of jack legs. Oh, I didn't see the SMT. Let's get a push above this 15, and I'll feel a lot more comfortable. Candle closure in 3, 2, 1. Doesn't help us. Did invert that 4 right there. I don't use TradeSync anymore. I had a glitch when I tried to use that, or when I was using that, and it cost me a lot of money, so I quit using them. I just copy trade on TradingView. There we go. Push. Keep going. This is funded. That's why I'm only trading 5 micros. That's kind of my go-to sizing for funded. Getting a strong rejection out of that 15, man. This is just a tough range right here because we're trading into all of this, which was to be expected, but I really want to see a stronger push here. Tempted to go break even on this just in case. Maybe at least below this 5 minute. Is that SMT? Or how are we looking on ES over there, Tristan? This 15's holding us up. 20 seconds until candle closure on the 15. If we get a closure above that, that'd be beautiful, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. We are going to invert this, hopefully. Yeah, we inverted that. Yeah, this is in Q. M in Q, yeah. This 15's being a biatch. We need to push through it. Tempted to move stops right below this 15 inversion. Come on, baby, come on. I feel like that guy in the have you seen that video? Who was it? Kramer from Seinfeld, when he's at the betting place for horse racing and he's got like the newspaper. Come on. This is the first trade we've taken today. Yeah, this is copy trading across 5 accounts. Micros. No, micros. This is funded. I trade micros unfunded typically. Yeah, it's the 1 minute right there. It's below the breaker, but I'm about to move it. I am moving it. At this point, I'm going to move stops up to just below that 15-minute inversion. Might even go break even on this. Yeah, that'd be pretty tight. I am going to go break even on this. So this is a risk-free trade at this point. Yeah, we're break even here. Talking about take partials, could. I would do that at this swing high if I was going to do that though. That's not a 5-minute, is it? That's a 15, isn't it? Yeah, it's a 15. Why did I mark that as a 5? Oh, it's the candle's in the way. Yeah, I'd say that'd be a first TP potentially if you want to take some contracts off at that point. And I honestly, full TP is probably London high. I just wanted to be optimistic. I try to influence the market a little bit. That's not a realistic, at least for this trade. I don't think that's a realistic level. I think probably London high is the realistic level. I like being optimistic. That close on the 15? No, we got 10 minutes left on that. Yeah. ES is pumping. Yeah. I'm hoping that NQ is about to do the same, at least to these highs. Is there an SMT? Tristan just said ES is pumping. Matthew, first day of class was good, man. That was on Monday. It was good. Appreciate you asking. We only care about orange folder and red folder news. That's already all taking place today. Okay. Two breakers on the 2 minute. You looking at the order book, Tristan? Or are you looking at Bookmap? I aim, honestly, only $250 per account is all I need. I mean, I can make way more than that on Take Profit Trader, but I on my Apex accounts, I only aim for $250 a day. This is Take Profit Trader I'm trading right now, not Apex. Yeah, 50K accounts. I think it's rhythmic data because it's whatever works with Tradeovate, Howie, or Howie, yeah. Yeah, this is copy trading. Copying across 5 accounts, right? 5 funded take profit accounts. Yeah, they're copy traded on Tradeovate, so they all opened at once. Hey, that's a good strategy, man. Set and forget. I have a hard time doing that on fundeds. On evals, I'll literally do it and then just go on with my day, and then it'll be what it'll be. But um, I like to baby it a little bit here. London high is marked. It's right here. Asia's right there. London high is just below it. If I can click it. Right there. Yeah, I have a Discord. It's free. Hang on a second. There's the link. Yeah, TPT allows you to copy trade. We swept lows, V-shaped recovery, inverted a couple of gaps, breaker, retest of a 1 minute at the top of the breaker. Yeah, it was kind of a wider stop than I would have liked. Appreciate that, Tristan. Wider stop than I would have liked, but we got to move it pretty quickly, though, relatively. So there was several different confluences, probably at least 3 or 4. 5. We're trading 5 per account. Yeah, we're trading into these 15s. It's like I said at the opening of this trade, we're trading into some heavy resistance here, but that only means it's just going to be a little bit stressful. That's the 1 minute we're rejecting pretty hard off that 15 right there. So tempting to close this. $272. We're just above profit target for the day on 5 accounts. Not mad about that. If you're on evals, I'd definitely keep holding this. If you're on funded and you're more little risk tolerant than I am, feel free to keep holding. That was a pretty strong rejection off of that 15 though, above us. We'll see how it plays out. I do think this is going to go higher. Yeah. But I don't want to get greedy. I have a target profit for the day. We're above that. So I can't be too mad about it. I didn't even realize that I set a buy order on my Apex funded account and didn't realize it. Happy mistake. Oops. That's sketchy. That's not good. That could have gone very badly. I usually, on fundeds, look at this, is going to keep pushing higher here, as I think it will. I think we're going to keep going higher, at least to these highs. It'd be nice if it went all the way up here, but we'll see. I usually trade 1 micro for every 500 to draw down that I have. Adriel. That's typically my strategy. And even if I have more, yeah, no, man. I took profits. Hey, we're up 272 times 5, plus 800 and something on an Apex account that I didn't even realize opened. I don't know how that happened. I've had that happen and really fucked me before. Excuse my language. So I'm not actually happy about that happening. But I trade 1 micro for every 500 to draw down. And even if I have more drawdown, I don't think you really need, for me personally, this is a long-term thing for me. I'm not looking to obviously taking a trade and hitting a huge home run is nice. But if you're looking at this as a long-term thing, if you're making $250 a day times 5 or times 20, bro, you are making money. Like, you are making some serious money if you're doing that consistently. So the downside of risking more than that is you're going to blow your accounts. And I got tired of blowing accounts. That's demoralizing. It's not fun. So, for me personally, that's a strategy I stick with. It's kind of working well for me. Yeah, see, Dill. I posted something in the Discord last night. Roger Federer, I think it was Roger Federer that was talking. He was like, he only had an 80% win rate, but of the actual points, if you broke it down by point, he was only winning like 52% of the points. in his career, and he's seen as one of the best tennis players of all times. I'm not huge into tennis, but I like people who are great at what they do, and he was great at what he did. So, to me, that's like, think about it like that. Yeah, Jay, we took that long off that 1 minute down there. I don't trade a personal account right now, man. I've only been taking payouts for the past 4 months. This is the this is the fourth month I've been taking payouts. Oh, you're in? Nice. Very nice, Jay. If you're still holding, we hit that first TP right there, but um, nice. Made 150 the same trade. Yeah, on one. I plan on trading personal capital once I've been taking consistent payouts for at least 9 to 12 months. I think around February of this coming year, that would be a time if I'm still taking consistent payouts and not shitting the bed. I think I'm gonna take one. What I really want to do is take a payout on 20 Apex accounts at once, and then I'd probably take that money and put it, at least a portion of it, into a personal capital account, personal brokerage, and trade that. I have 550K TPTs and I have 12 total Apex right now. They're all 50Ks. Yeah, I'm using Take Profit Trader right now. Yeah. Appreciate that, Young. Yeah, that was a good level to take profit. This buy side right here. Yeah, beauty. I trade Apex and TPT. Um, Today we just happen to be trading TPT. I like to stick with one firm per week. That's kind of my rule. I don't know why. I always get myself into trouble when I try to trade, especially if I trade two firms at the same time. Thank you for the profit today. Same idea, but you just made me more comment. Nice, Sosa. Yeah. I will tell you, though, man, I make mistakes all the time. So don't, like this, this was nice and it was a good trade, but there's been plenty of days, as anyone in here can attest, where I take L's. So I don't hold myself out to be some guru at this stuff. I've only been doing it, well, 2 years and 8 months, so I'm still learning. I appreciate that, Sosa. Appreciate that, man. I took my first payout about a year ago, and then in the past 4 months, I've been taking consistent payouts, like back to back to back, like every 8 to 10 days, taking a payout. But after my first payout, dude, I took my first payout with Top Step. I didn't take another payout for a while after that. I think it kind of actually messed up my psychology. I got a little too confident, started taking more risks. I wasn't doing the same things that got me to that point. So I had to really reevaluate what I was doing. It took me a little over a year, man, to get a payout from the time I started trading until the time I took a payout. The first Apex payout I took was 2000. I don't know that I would recommend waiting until you're at that. Like, you can take a payout before then, but that was just the max. Palm Beach, man, I would love to move down there one day, or at least have a house down there. I like the Fort Lauderdale area is nice, but I think I would rather live in Palm Beach, West Palm specifically. I think they're close to each other, right? Boca's nice. Yeah, Boca is nice. Boca, I've spent some time in Boca. Boca seems to have an older crowd, but I'm fine with that. Like the Fort Lauderdale crowd is cool, but I think if I was raising a family, I wouldn't want to necessarily be in that area. I also feel like part of the Miami crowd is pushing towards Fort Lauderdale a little bit. Yeah, Palm Beach is not cheap. Yeah, that's true, Tristan. Where did I go over there? We went to dinner for a birthday party in Boca not that long ago. Was it Louis Bossi's maybe? Does Louis Bossi? I know they have a on Las Olas in Fort Lauderdale. They have a restaurant. I think they had one in Boca that we went to. Almirada, yeah. The thing is, though, if you're down in Fort Lauderdale, man, you can hop on the boat and be in the stream in pretty quick time, and there's great fishing. I would not live in California. I wish I could. Honestly, man, I would. I think that geographically, California is one of the most beautiful states that we have in the United States, but I wouldn't want to be forking over the taxes. And among many other issues. I'm new, trying to understand, so you can be more than. So you purchase an eval, um, and once you meet the goal, the target profit for that, and you follow all the rules, then you act. They pass you. You pass the eval, and you activate a funded account. And the funded account, the way that works is you have a buffer that you have to reach, which is typically whatever your max drawdown is. So if it's a 50K account on Apex, it's 2,500 plus $100. So you got to make $2,600, which is you can do that. And then once you hit the buffer zone, once you've reached the buffer limit or the max or whatever, everything after that you can withdraw. And it goes right into your bank account. And it's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. Almost doesn't even feel real, to be honest, but it is. 2,500 is the drawdown on a fresh 50K account for Apex. Yeah, Jay, you heard me. Did you hear me talking about that? If you break that consistency rule, they will deny your payout. Feels like laundering money. Yeah, it's a glitch, man. Ernest, it's 2,500 plus 100. I don't know why they do the plus 100 thing. They probably explain it, and I didn't read it, but it's your drawdown plus 100, so 2,600 total, and then everything on top of that is withdrawable. You get penalized if you take a withdrawal under 500. I think that's Apex's rule. They take a percentage of it, but if you trade and you make 250 a day, once you reach the drawdown limit, if you make 250 a day for 8 days, you can only take a withdrawal every 8 days. 250 a day times 8, that's $2,000. So all you got to aim for is 250 a day per account, and every 8 days you're taking a max payout. So nice, still very nice, man. Opinion on Top Step? Like I was just saying, I took my first payout with them, and I had good results, but I've heard recently, I've had many people telling me they've had some issues with them recently, many different types of issues. So yeah, I know they're in the middle of a bunch of lawsuits and stuff with some big traders. Um, so I haven't really, it kind of put a bad taste in my mouth the way they've conducted themselves. What's my setup for live streaming? Uh, Zero. I don't normally do this, but follow me. I'm going to post to my story later because somebody else asked me that. If you follow me, I'll post to my. I'm going to post to my story later what my setup looks like. I've posted it before. I got a 49-inch monitor and then a 32-inch that's set up vertically, and then a 27-inch next to that. And then I got one of these. What's this brand? Forgot the brand of this desk, but yeah, pretty large desk. This is fake, guys. You got me. You better tell my apartment complex that, and my car insurance company, and my electric company. This is NASDAQ futures. Great green screen. Zach. Oh, I have on the 49-inch monitor, the larger monitor that I have, the ultra wide. I have half of the screen is trading view and half of the screen is my Trade of 8 setup. So I execute on Trade of 8 and then chart here on Trading View. But I also have my Trade of 8 linked to my Trading View so that you guys can see so you can see exactly what position I'm in. Yeah, it's a figment of imagination. Don't believe your lying eyes. Let's talk about my face cam. I'm real. Bro, I'm nowhere near good looking enough for you to think that I'm a fake dude. Nose is real. Yeah, Discord's in the chat. I read it. What am I missing? Do you recommend micros and eval? No, I do not. Sorry, I missed that. I would not do that. Unless you're new. If you are new, I do recommend that. Like if you've never passed an eval and you're constantly failing them, maybe stick to micros or even switch over to paper. But if you consistently pass an evals, I would say 1 to 3 micros, depending on the setup, and depends on the firm too. You got trailing drawdown on intraday trailing drawdown on Apex, so you got to keep that in mind. With take profit, you also have a 30% consistency rule, so you basically can't pass. You have to trade for 5 days to pass. So I think that works out to be about 600 a day. So that should be your target profit for an eval. But I like to if I see an A+ setup and I'm on eval, I throw 2-3 micros on there, or excuse me, minis. When I took this trade, what confluence did I have? Well, we swept this major liquidity level here. We had a nice strong V-shaped recovery. We had a BPR right here, which is a balanced price range. You had a bullish gap that got inverted, and then a bearish gap that got inverted. Then we created a bullish gap on top of that. We had this 1-minute gap that was sitting above us at the top of this breaker. And once we created the breaker, inverted the 1 minute and retested it, that's where I opened the trade. Clear draw on liquidity was the swing high, would be the first TP, and we were actually aiming for these Asia and London highs. Take profits 50. Okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah. But that was this setup right here is typically what I like to see. We got this yesterday in the PM session, and I murdered it. Loved it. This isn't we don't trade Forex, man. This is NASDAQ futures. Can I explain drawdown? It's the amount that you can lose before you blow the account, and you have to start over. Breaker block is a high. It depends on if it's bullish or bearish, and it also depends. Different people use the wick. Some people just use the body. I like the body. So it's a low, high, lower low, and then a higher high. So you had the low, you had the high, lower low, higher high. So there's your breaker. And a bearish would be the other way around. Can you explain a 15-minute inversion? Yeah. So this is the 15-minute chart. So each one of these candles is worth 15 minutes of time, accounts for 15 minutes of time. A fair value gap, you had this wick came down. We'll call this candle 1, candle 2, and candle 3. Candle 1 came down right here. The body of candle 2, you have this full body right here, and then candle 3, the wick only came up to right here. So that space in that body between those, that's a fair value gap, right? So you had that fair value gap there. Well, then price still on the 15-minute chart here, price went down and then came back up, and you see this 15-minute closed above that fair value gap. So at that point, that inverts that gap. So instead of being an area where you'd expect bullish pressure, because a bearish pressure is a bearish 15-minute gap. With a bearish 15-minute gap, you'd expect price to come into it and then push lower, which you see it did right here. But then when it closes above it, it inverts that pressure. So at that point, you can kind of expect it to be an area of support. So you can expect price to dip into it and then go higher. So then that's why we turn that into a 15-minute inversion right there. Yeah, tapped into that 5 and then pushed higher. Yeah, I do think this wants to go higher here. If somebody just asked me. Intraday drawdown is, let's you see how I made $272 right there, $272.50. If that number were to go to zero, not negative, but just zero, that 272.50, if I'm on an eval, would count against my drawdown. So even though I didn't technically lose money on paper on my P&L, on the drawdown, it would count as a loss. So that can be tricky to navigate as a beginner trader. But once you get used to it, it's not that big of a deal. The only problem is sometimes you cut trades early because you don't want let's say you go up 1,000 and then it comes back to where you're only up 500, you would lose 500 to drawdown. We were long off of this. We took profits like right here. Down 40, Geek. How'd you do that, man? That's not terrible though. Don't overtrade and end up worse off. Make sure you're taking A+ setups. I agree with you, Coal World. I agree with you. It's just one of those ways that I hate to say it like this, but it's one of those ways they try to trip people up. And I think there's a good reason for it. You could really just throw on like 3 or 4 contracts here, 3 or 4 minis, and just like go up, and then if it comes back down, you could close it before you're actually in loss, and then you could just continuously do that. So it's one of the ways that they try to make sure that you're trading responsibly. Yeah, it's a business, but they don't want to sit there and give you a funded account, especially not a live funded account, which is actual money that you're going to trade recklessly on. So it's one of their ways of kind of weeding out the irresponsible traders. But I agree with you. It can really, it is annoying. You got to think though, if that's one of the only drawbacks of Apex, in my opinion. You can have up to 20 Apex funded accounts. They're the only firm that lets you do that right now. So, if they allow you to have 20 accounts, I'm okay with having to navigate the intraday trailing. This 5 minutes holding right here. This bearish 5 minute. Exactly, Dean. Exactly. If you're taking a max payout every 8 days, you only have to make $250 per account, and you're looking at 40 grand every 8 days. What I'm trying to do is get 20 accounts. I don't have 20 right now. I have 12. I've made a couple of errors in the past couple of weeks, and it's set me back. But my goal is to get 20 funded accounts, to have 20 total, and to trade those and take a max payout and record it and let you guys see it. I think that'd be kind of cool. Yeah, after you hit your buffer on a funded, it goes away, Nathan. $2K. $2K is the max profit, or the max payout, every 8 days for the first 5 payouts. On Trade of 8, you can copy trade them all. 2,600 is the buffer. No, I don't trade Forex. I think Top Step is one of the most. I appreciate those gifts. I just saw that. Top Step is one of the oldest firms in the space, so I think from that perspective they're good. They're good about not denying payouts and stuff. From my understanding, I've never had an issue. I didn't when I used to trade them. I never had an issue with them. But they've had some other stuff go on recently that they've had their Top Step X dashboard crash, which they kind of force you to use. It's crashed several times recently in the middle of the day, in the middle of important price action. And I had a buddy that he had a trade that didn't close even though he was clicking the button. He had a screen recording of it, and they were less than helpful about it. But overall, I think without those one-off issues, they're a good firm. It's just I don't want to take a chance of dealing with that crap. I've had too much success with Apex and Take Profit Trader to really want to go in and switch up. I think Alpha Futures is a good firm. My Funded Futures is a good firm. Tradeify is a good firm. Profit target is for an eval, and the buffer is for a funded. I've been hearing about Blue Sky. I always thought they were a personal capital firm, but I've found out recently they do props as well. I thought it was only personal capital, but they're a little more expensive, aren't they? See, you cracking me up, man. A buffer is. Are they less expensive? I'm gonna have to check them out then. A buffer is. So if you're on a 50K account, obviously your drawdown is $2,500. So they want you to reach that drawdown equivalent in profits plus $100, so $2,600 total, before they'll let you take a payout. So basically, once you hit that $2,600, that's kind of like, you could think of it as you've basically given them their money, and you can take your money after that. I don't know. Nah, Isaiah, there is a guy trying to scam people. Funny enough, he even tried to scam one of my own brothers. He didn't realize that he was talking to my brother. I can't get TikTok to remove that account, man. I'm sorry about that. I will never ask any of you for your information or message you without prior conversation. Yeah, don't respond and report them if you can. I'm sorry to hear that, Jalen. That's tough, man. So Robbie, you're gonna have to make 2,600 to reach the buffer, and then after that, I would aim, and even before then. So right now, if you make 250 a day per account, you're gonna reach a max payout by 20 days. You could try to rush that and hit your buffer quicker, but you can only take a payout every 8 days. So I think if you told me, you know, I think you can, if you're disciplined, waiting 20 days is not, you wait the 20 days and then every 8 days after that, you're taking max payouts on both accounts. So I'd do 250 target profit per day, and I would trade micros to do that. I would not over risk or over leverage. What makes you say Apex is buns? What's some good advice you have for new traders? Spend a lot of time on your education. Yes, do not trade more than 5 minis, Robbie, for the first 2,600. The payout denied because of that. Do not do that. I wouldn't be trading minis at all with your funded, unless you have just a massive buffer built. You're in long off that 5, Tristan? Yeah, it's a good trade, I think. Yeah, I think you're right, Dill. I think you are right. Top Step is good for beginners. I just don't like being saddled with having to trade on their platform, their Top Step X platform. Yeah, it is. I would agree with you in terms of those things. But once you learn those rules, man, it's not the fact that you can scale up to 20 funded accounts is pretty. I mean, that's unmatched. As long as you're not doing stupid shit like trading 5, 10 minis at a time on a funded account, which you shouldn't do. And you know, there's just simple things that, like, if you're being a responsible trader, then the rules, you're not going to run into any issues. If you're a scalper, I'd say if your strategy is scalping, it is a little more difficult. But I don't scalp, so. Taubes X, you got to think also, man. If you think about this, I've said this so many times. People who have been in here a lot probably tired of hearing me say this. Think about this. You have 20 funded accounts, right? Or whatever your number. 20 is the max. We'll just go with the max. After you reach your buffer, you make 250 a day. It's pretty easy to do. We just did it. 272. You make 250 a day. You're taking a max payout on each account every 8 days. So if you have 20 accounts and you're taking a max payout every 8 days, you're taking $40,000 out every 8 days. You're talking close to $120,000 a month. A month. Before taxes. There's no other firm that you can do that with. You'd have to over leverage tremendously with the accounts that you had. Let's say you're like, take profit limits you to 5 fundeds at a time. So, you know, you'd have to do a lot. You'd have to leverage a lot more to be able to. John, I've done it. I mean, I haven't taken 20 at a time, but I've gotten max payout on 10 accounts at once. The thing is, man, I'll tell you this. When you get rid of the limiting mindset of people like John, you will be surprised at how far you can go. And I would go even further and say, if you knew my story and you knew where I am now, you would say, keep dreaming. You know, but here I am living it. So if you do this for years and you think that's a dream, you need to reconsider what you do for a living. I use Tradeovate to execute, and then I chart on TradingView. Yeah, you can copy trade them on Tradeovate. When you go to the top of your Tradeovate, there's a little down arrow, and it'll say manage groups, and you can create a group and add all 20 to them. Yeah, any firm that you can connect to Tradeovate, you can copy trade. No clue what that is. Yeah, we traded TPT today, man. These are TPT accounts we traded today. We did take that. We did take that long. That's right where we entered, right here. Took profit up here. Kind of started kicking back on us, and we took profit around this level. Yep, you can copy trade evals too. You talking about this BPR down here? Is that what you're talking about? Talking about that one? Yeah. I see what you're talking about. I wasn't fully convinced because we were trading into the 15 above us. I wanted to see penetration to create this breaker and then a retest. So that's why there's a breaker formation on the 2-minute that we had marked out. In order for that to be a valid breaker, I wanted to see price penetrate that and then come back. So when it penetrated that, it also inverted this 1-minute that was tucked right in here. And when it inverted that 1-minute, see this down close candle here? That's where we opened. We had a little slippage, unfortunately, so it opened it a little bit higher. But this was the target opening right here on the inversion of that 1-minute and the creation of the breaker. So we were kind of holding to see if price wanted to come back and retest the 1-minute down here. But since we pushed through that and inverted that one, I was also looking at the order book over here. It looked like buyers were just in control. So we opened it and let it run. Moved our stops. Ahmed, it's aggressive. If you've been passing evals consistently, I'd say aggressive. And by that I mean, like, depending on the setup, 1 to 3 minis. You got stopped on the first one. What happened to get stopped on that? Talking about right here. Oh. So that candle wick, you had stops below the breaker, or below the potential breaker. So you inverted here and put your stops. How did that work? How'd you get stopped on that? I go for the 250 rule, man. I'm not in a hurry, so I don't try to like strong arm the buffer on Apex. I just 250 is what I shoot for. From a fresh funded Apex 50K account, if you're just shooting for 50 or 250 a day, I think it takes like 20 days to get a max payout. So you just got to be patient. Trading, the majority of trading is psychological, man. You got to be super patient and realize it's a long-term thing, and not be looking for some quick get rich quick strategy. You'll get burned. Most people that fail and call trading a scam or say that it doesn't work is because, one, they don't spend time on their education. They don't stick to a strategy. They don't develop quality risk management skills, and they're in a hurry. That sucks, dude. Apple user, were you oversized? Why does it go down much faster than up? Are you break even on this trade, Tristan? 5 minis is way too much, man, on a funded. It's way too much on a funded. That's your max, too, by the way, on an Apex 50K. If you trade more than that, they'll deny your payout. Pierre, 5 minis is not fine on a funded account if you're, I don't care where you're entering. 5 minis is not fine. If you do that, you're going to be consistently blowing accounts. Unless you have a massive buffer. If it's a fresh, he just said he passed it yesterday and then traded it last night. That's a brand new funded account. You're trading 5 minis on it. I don't care. Nobody in their right mind, no successful trader is going to tell you that's a good idea. I do 1 micro for every 500 to draw down. You should not be trading minis unless you have a massive buffer. Yeah, that sounds about right. I've never traded a 25K account, but if that sounds about right. I'd reduce your sizing, Henry. I'd reduce your sizing until you start building back up. Get your psychology, catch some wins. Don't focus on the setups. Focus on taking good entries and A plus setups. If you focus on good entries and A plus setups, your money will come. Yeah. You would think, Tristan. You would think, man. I'm hoping this inversion holds for you. I don't set it at a dollar amount. Your stop loss is a result typically of your entry, but if you have to set a wider stop, like if I were to, I think if you are gonna have, if you know based on your entry that you're gonna have a wider stop, uh, that you need to lower your sizing going into the trade. Yeah, Apple, I'm live every day. Yeah, if it's a no news Monday, I don't go live. I don't typically take a trade. Like this past Monday, I did not go live or take a trade. Um, but besides that, yeah, I'm live every day. All right, guys, I got class here in 20 minutes, so I got to hop off here and get cleaned up and then go do that. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 9:30, maybe a little earlier because I have class at 11. So um, appreciate you guys being here. Yeah, Pierre. I appreciate it, Jay. Yeah, have a good one. Hope you guys are green on the day. Um, if you are, be careful. Don't give it back. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll see you. Cooking class, yeah. You're funny, John. Have a good one, man. God bless you.